Did you know that in 2019, 38 people per day died from an opioid overdose? My name is Nicole Reese, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the opioid crisis and a couple things that I think we could do to help keep it under control and get the numbers down. So, just a little bit of information to get started. I'll give you some statistics, and then I'll also give you some recommendations as far as my ideas of what we could do to help slow down the crisis and the amount of overdose deaths. Um, so there's a little bit of information I'd like to share with you about opioids. So to begin with, there are prescription opioids, which are prescribed by a doctor, medication. People become addicted and they can overdose either intentionally or unintentionally. There's also other opioids that are synthetic. And what happens is people make these opioids, such as heroin, for instance, so that they can use them to get high or to help with their drug addiction, to keep them from withdrawing or detoxing, whatever the case may be. So there are two different kinds of opioids, and there's probably many more, but these are the two main ones I want to talk about today. So 70% of drug overdose deaths are from opioids. So if 38 people die per year, that's in 2019. That's the most accurate and up to date statistic I can find from the CDC. If 38 people die per day, they're saying that approximately 50,000 people died in 2019. So, what I've done is I've done a little bit of research on what I think could be helpful. There's a lot of different things. And the first one, I think that rehabilitation or some sort of treatment center, that the options to go to a treatment center should be a better financial situation for somebody struggling. A lot of people struggling with addiction do not have the finances to pay for or finance a rehab center, or you have to have insurance to get into a rehab. And that is a big problem in America. People not having insurance. I mean, even people who aren't using drugs illegally do not have insurance. So I think that the first good thing to begin with would be opening up resources for people struggling with drug addiction so that they can go if they would like help and not have to worry about how much it's going to cost them. Everything is costly in life, but there are a lot of nonprofit organizations, and I think we should focus some of our nonprofits to drug rehabilitation. Also, I read a study about Portuguese and how they handle their drug-related arrests. So, just a little backstory: if you get arrested in the United States with drugs, you are going to jail. That's it. End of story. You may be able to get a lawyer and take a plea and do rehab time. But in Portugal, what they've done is they've decriminalized drugs. So what they're doing is they're actually, if you get caught with drugs, they send you to a rehabilitation to help you with the drugs, to help you get off of drugs. And I'm not saying that it's a perfect system, but these people are put into the prison system after years of doing drugs, and when they get out they don't know anything better. They can't get out and go to a halfway house because every rate is different in every state, but in North Carolina you're looking between $500 and $600 a week to go to a rehabilitation or a halfway house or a sober living home. So I do think what Portuguese is doing is a very good idea as far as decriminalizing the drugs. I do think there should be certain things that we look at in regards to what would make it criminal and what would make it, a drug problem. Lots of people are dying, whether it's from intentional or unintentional. These synthetic drugs, people don't know what they're being made with, and they're taking them and they're overdosing and dying. And it's a very sad world. Um, I do also believe that the medication we are given when we go to the doctor should be monitored a little better than it is now. And a lot of things have cracked down in the last few years, but I have personally noticed if I go to the doctor, sprain my ankle, they're like, here are some Percocets. That's not the first resort. I personally do not take pain medicine, but I've been offered it every time I go to the doctor's office, or for an injury, and I don't think that that should be the first go-to. Should try other alternatives. Maybe even a company that can come up with a non-addictive pain relieving medicine or something along those lines. But I've heard people get hurt just to get pain medicine, and that is a very scary thing to think about. So overall, with the opioid crisis, I just think that there could be a few changes. There could be a lot of changes, but mainly I would say that rehabilitation should not be as expensive as it is. They should have a nonprofit organization. There are a few, but they should have more available for people willing to get help. Also, the decriminalization of drugs in the United States would be an amazing thing, because I think that people who needed help, who got caught with drugs, they wouldn't just be locked in jail waiting to get out getting their next fix. And then last but not least, I do think it is important to watch what is being prescribed to patients. If it shouldn't be, that easy to get medication, especially, legal opiates. So, like I said, my name is Nicole Reese, and I think that there are a couple things we can do for the opioid crisis, but I appreciate you listening and have a great day.